Hey guys, today I'm going to run through the 10 coolest role prompts that I found for ChatGPT. Going to show you what those prompts are, kind of show you how you can use them to get the best out of ChatGPT, and we're just going to have some fun here. So let's get right to it. So it starts by saying that gun rights is highly controversial and it's a divisive issue within the United States, which is true. It even starts with some kind of big summary sentences such as those in favor argue that that would reduce the mass shootings and those who are against support the Second Amendment. And we get some additional arguments in favor of stricter gun control, also some statistics in there from Center of Disease Control and Prevention. And then we get some arguments against stricter gun control like the Second Amendment and hunting. So it then summarizes, says, while both sides have valid points, it's important to consider the data. Studies have shown that countries with stricter gun control do have lower rates of gun violence. And this is kind of a cool way that you can get both sides of an argument very quickly from ChatGPT. And of course, you can follow up with either of those sides and dive deeper into the issues and increase your understanding. This is just a glimpse into how to use the debater. I asked ChatGPT to help me create a campaign on Instagram for a new line of athleisure clothing. It says, sure, I can help with that. And it starts to go through the steps that I should do to kind of launch this campaign. And it goes, create a visually appealing Instagram feed, collaborate with popular fitness instructors, utilize Instagram stories, hold a giveaway contest for followers, and use Instagram ads, host Instagram live, and interact with the followers. So you can use ChatGPT in this way to kind of help you fine-tune a game plan to maybe launch a product or an idea that you've been brainstorming. Okay, so in this example, I gave ChatGPT some ideas. I'm in Paris, I like museums, and I wanted to kind of create a itinerary for me, so to say. So it starts talking about the Louvre, talks about the Mona Lisa, and then it gives me some follow-ups. Okay, you should check out the Musée d'Orsay, and so on. But I actually want it to give me an itinerary, so let's ask it for it. So I asked, create me an itinerary for a 5-hour museum tour using public transportation and walking. And now it actually does that. It says, start at the Louvre, take the metro. Then, after 2 hours, head to the Musée d'Orsay. Spend 1 hour there. Take a walk along the river. Visit the Centre Georges Pompidou. And then return to your starting point. So this is awesome. I said, I have 5 hours. I'm in Paris. I love museums. And it's like, boom, this is what you should do to maximize your time there. So you can start to see how you could use ChatGPT to craft unique experiences on your own travels. So what I did here was just wrote some basic things about myself in German and wanted to see what it would return in English. And it says, I hold a doctorate in neuroscience. I work in the fields of AI and data science. I truly relish photography, videography, and nature, particularly hiking, climbing, and playing beach volleyball. So a little bit funny on the words there, using the word relish, but in the prompt, I did ask it for kind of upper level English words that are more beautiful and elegant. So that's probably why it chose relish instead of like or something like this. You can also switch the language and then use this to kind of up your foreign language skills. Okay, here's a really cool one. So I asked ChatGPT to help me create an advertising campaign for a new type of energy drink targeting young adults. And it crafts a target audience that says there are young adults who are looking particularly for healthy and natural energy boosts. So it's already kind of making something unique about this campaign. And it really just hits on this. Natural ingredients, active lifestyle. I love these slogans. So stay energized naturally. It tells us the media channels we should go to. And these additional activities are on point, partnering with fitness influencers, doing a launch event, offering a special promotion. And it says, yeah, you should do a little more competitive analysis here, but this is a great way to get started. And I agree. Okay, to access the summarizer, we need something for it to summarize. So I'm going to go over here to Google Scholar, and since ChatGPT uses natural language processing, I'm going to do the same and just copy some large piece of text from the first paper there. We're going to plug it in and see what happens. And you see ChatGPT instantly kind of rewrites this whole text into kind of a tangible one paragraph. And if you cross-check, you can actually see that it's using not only the sources that were in there, but it's keeping almost all of the information that that original text had. So this is a great way to condense the amount of reading you need to do on a topic, especially if you don't need to go too deep on that topic. In fact, I could even ask it to re-summarize that paragraph, and we could get it into more and more distilled language. This is an amazing prompt that you can really use to help you land a job. In fact, I did a whole nother video on this prompt alone where you can really dive in and see how ChatGPT can get you a job. I'm asking it to interview me for a back-end programmer position. And it starts with saying, "Hi, can you tell me a bit about your background and how you got into programming?" And I just write something like, "Oh, I've always loved programming. My first program was a simple one. It was like the game Snake, where you move around with the WASD keys to collect items. From that moment on, I was hooked on talking to computers with code." It says, "Great. Can you tell me about a particular challenging problem you've had to solve in your previous experience as a backend developer?" And here I say, well, I found one of the problems that was particularly difficult for me was ensuring that large-scale data resources were available for a front-end web app which was experiencing an extremely high amount of traffic, similar to how perhaps it is when ChatGPT is overloaded. It replies, "I see. Can you walk me through how you approached and solved that problem?" That's difficult. It doesn't give me any credit there. So you can see this is really going to get into the details, and it's really acting kind of like a tough interviewer. And again, you really should watch that other video. It is great. So if you don't know, SQL or SQL is a language that you can use to communicate with databases. And you have to write your queries in a very particular way to interact with these databases. So here, we're going to use ChatGPT to just write kind of plain English sentences. Already, you can see it's giving us this product table, and I can just ask for something like, "Give me the average price for all the products from supplier ID equals 1. And it just does that. And now I can say, okay, well, give me the price for product 4 from supplier 2, and you can just go up and check and see, yeah, it does that. So that's the price for product 4 from supplier 2. So you can see how you might use this with your own SQL database, and you can also ask it, instead of just printing answers, to give you the query for the question that will give you that answer. This one is really cool. So I said I need help creating impactful charts from atmospheric CO2 levels collected from research cruises around the world. And it starts to tell me about different methods that I can use, like a line graph, a scatter plot, a map, and an interactive dashboard using something like Tableau or R Shiny. And that's great. So I want to follow up on that. I'm going to say, hey, can you write me a template code to get started on the interactive dashboard example? It's like, sure, here's a template code using R Shiny. And you can see here that it assumes we have a CSV called CO2 levels, which has data such as cruise and date in it. And it really just gives us this template to use. And it defines a server logic, and it even creates at the end a line plot. So this is a really basic template code, but it's great that you can just customize it as you need. And I love it too. It says, let me know if you need any more help. So you can really then customize that code with ChatGPT to provide you with the visualizations that you want. I want to know how to calculate how many millions of banknotes are active in the world. And here, it really tells me how I would go about to solve this problem. It says you would need to gather data from various central banks and natural governments. So that's really on point. That's what I would have to do. And it says once you've collected this data, you could use statistical techniques such as sampling and estimation, and it goes on to explain it a bit more, but I want something kind of concrete right now. So I'm going to say assume a fixed number of banknotes, write me a step-by-step explanation, including the math, to calculate various statistical results. It says, sure, let's assume we have a fixed number of banknotes, say 10,000. Here's a step-by-step explanation to calculate various statistical results. So it gives us exactly the mean, it gives us the definition of the mean, tells us how to calculate it, the median, the mode, the variance. So not only do we have the formulas, but we have kind of what these formulas are giving us. And those are some of the coolest role prompts that I've found. But hey, I've listed a bunch more in the description below. And while you're down there, please like and subscribe. That helps me a lot. And it really supports me in continuing to make these videos. See you next time.